Hey everybody, it has been a really long time since I put a video out, and I'm sorry about that, but we've got exciting things today because I just got the Analog 3D in, and so I wanted to do a little unboxing video and just put it through its paces. I figured this isn't probably what, I made this channel to do a bunch of live streams. I wanted to do, specific written scripted long videos, which I am working on. I know they've taken forever, but I figured this is a big, exciting day to get a new console in, and one that I've been waiting a year plus for, I think. I don't remember the exact pre-order date there. So I wanted to show this off, and it's a little out of the ordinary. I think I did one of these for the Mr. when I got the Mr. Pi stuff in, so figured might as well continue this on. We get new FPGA consoles and handhelds, and we do a live stream, mainly because I'm going to be testing them anyways, and why don't you join me and suggest some games? That's fun, right? So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So let's go top-down view. This is the Analog 3D in its box. I put all this junk around it for a nice photo, and then I shuffled it around when I was trying to get the computer connected, so it doesn't look as nice anymore. But look, N64 things. I guess we can lead off with the small part of this. This is the controller that 8-Bit Do has partnered with Analog, the FPGA company, that makes these nice, fancy, bundled up consoles that aren't the Mr. Project. And they put out a N64 controller for this. So I might as well open this. I got a couple of these. In my wildest imagination, I thought, oh, wow, this will be a new N64. I'll obviously need 4 controllers so that all my friends can come over and play it. Hopefully that happens. That will not happen today. I have no one here waiting on the back burner to play games with me. But so yeah, this is the controller, and it is their N64 type controller. So it's a lot like their Ultimate controller, D-pad, control stick, pretty much in the same layout. But you've got the what is that, octagonal gate to where you can feel it and kind of press into the positions there and line things up. So that's cool. It also has a metal kind of sheath on here, cover on this, which I don't know if it does anything other than make it smooth to move around, but it's an option. And then you've got the A, B buttons in the N64 configuration. The C buttons, don't get these confused for A, B, X, Y. Big old start button, and then triggers and stuff. The weird thing is, as far as I know, I'd watched some reviews on this, it seems like maybe you can't rebind these on the fly for the Analog. I don't know if you can do that in their Ultimate software, because you can do that for PC, that you can hook this up to your computer, rebind everything. So maybe you can still do that if you do want to change, like only one of these would be used for Z at a given time. So maybe you'd want to rebind those to something else. I don't know how many customizable options are in there. I haven't dove into it. But this is brand new out of the box. It'll work on the Switch, the Analog 3D, obviously, the PC, Mac, Windows, I assume, everything else. It is a Bluetooth controller. But the thing that intrigued me with it is that, one, they partnered with Analog to make this for this console, and it's got easy pairing. So I do have N64, wired controllers here. I have some other beside me because I want to test a bunch of different these. But it seemed nice to have something wireless. If this is the next gen N64, the convenient way to play all these games that doesn't require me to run stuff through the RetroTink or hook any cables up here, this seemed nice to have. Will these get the use that I'm hoping they do, of everyone comes over and we play big multiplayer GoldenEyes and Smash Brothers? I do not know. Maybe I'll do a full review on all this stuff at some later date, but I like the idea of having a dedicated controller for this console. So that's kind of what I was going for. The only problem is I have to set this to the side because they sent out a little slip. Let's see. With the box that said you need to update your controller and the Analog 3D to use all the latest features, which is, I assume, maybe these have been done for a while. The console itself and the controller's been out since the summer. I've had one of these sitting in a drawer for a while. And so the new updates are to make sure this stuff all connects together, and probably the Analog OS also has updates to make it run the games better. But let's get to the main part, the main thing we're here to unbox. Let's move this out of the way. And go into the console here. I'll go ahead and move this stuff. I don't need this all cluttering things up. I just wanted to show the options. We'll keep the N64 up just so we can compare for size, shape, all that. Okay. I'll put it out of frame for this immediate time. So yeah, the Analog 3D, for those of you who don't know, thanks for clicking on the video and just trusting. This is made by the Analog Inc. They make a bunch of, they say not emulation, but it's like, seems to be hardware emulation or hardware simulation. And that's what they're connecting in here, is that this is trying to replicate the console at the chip level and not at the software level. I am not the expert on all that stuff. I just understand some basics of it. So maybe take those questions to someone else. But I think it's cool that they are making these handhelds and consoles. Here's the other one, the Analog Pocket that they made, which plays Game Boy, Game Boy Advance. You can get adapters for Game Gear. It has ways to play other FPGA consoles and stuff on here. And I like that they have an all-in-one little unit that plays my cartridges and plays all my real physical hardware and software that I have. So that was the thought with this, is I could have something nice that plays all that stuff. And that's what I was hoping for this to be. And based on reviews I've read, it seems like that is the case. So we get like a little nice matte finish and then little shiny part on the 3D. And there's the console. Also, like, I'm a box weirdo, but nice foam padding in here, really protected. That's nice to see. And yeah, not much else in here. So I went for the white variant. I don't know why. I guess this hasn't discolored too much, so maybe my hands are clean. But I did worry, even in shipping, if this would get kind of scuffed up and darkened, which it has some little flakes on it. This it may turn out to be the wrong choice that I went with at white for this. But let's see. We've got a CB01, which seems to just be their fun branding for this, and HDMI cable. And then we have a CB02, which, if I were to assume, is the power cable for this. Yep. And then a little power brick. The one thing I was very careful with and still remain pretty careful with is I worry that with these things that using the wrong power brick will break the console. I don't know if that's confirmed for this. I know it was very precious about it for this, that I bring their specific charger, especially when using the dock. I just don't want to risk it. I've heard all the horror stories about the Switch and weird docks, so who knows if that's the case here, if that's something to worry about, but I always try to use the official hardware when I can, just for some peace of mind. So we'll get that plugged in. I need to run this into the capture software and everything in a second. But let's look at the console itself. Oh, wow, it's a lot thinner than I thought. So yeah, there's all your ports for your original hardware, and that is, I guess, the thing I'll keep reiterating. This is a recreation console using FPGA, and it is meant to be the thing where you have a bunch of N64 hardware at home and you want to be able to hook that up and use that on something. And you maybe don't want to hook up. Is there anything else in this box? Oh, there is. Your old consoles and deal with all the cables and the upscalers and things like that. Here's our little don't insert remove cartridges while a game is running. Clean them before use. And there's a little quick start guide and some stickers. So if you're thinking, oh, this is really cool, you should really, as with most of the analog stuff, the only reason I ever get any of these is because, oh, sorry, this is the cartridge cleaner, which is nice to have. Maybe we'll test it out on some carts. If you have the hardware for this already, it seems like a great console. That's why I got it. If you don't, then it's going to be really expensive and maybe probably not worth it. But here's the comparison of the two consoles. So there is the N64 versus the Analog 3D. Very similar form factors, shapes, and everything, but just a little weirder on the Nintendo side. And we some things down here. But it still keeps the, I feel like if you glance at this, you think that is an N64, and probably when Analog comes out with their super limited edition of this that has this colors, and I feel very jealous like I did with all the cool colors on the Analog Pocket, I will feel sad, but then just be glad that I was able to order one and not had to wait a ton of time. So that's one nice thing, I guess. But yeah, this is the console, and I have my, let's see, updated controller. So a little smoke and mirrors here. I did plug this in. So I have seen inside this box. I am still very impressed with how thin this is. That is a genuine, I forgot even going from earlier today and now. I did go and swap the, or pulled the micro or SD card out, and I put the latest update on there, and I had it run an update just so I could confirm we'd not have to wait, 20 minutes or on an update or something. It only took maybe 5-10 minutes to update this, but it is fully updated. I updated this controller, so this should all connect and be good to go just immediately. But let me get it plugged in, and we'll go from there and boot it up here. And if anybody is in the chat or viewing anything, please send your recommendations for what I should play or what I should test out on here. I've got a list of things I would like to try. First thing I would like to try is to see if the summer cart works. I've heard that this flash cart is one of the few that kind of works immediately, so I'm hoping that is the case for imports and ROM hacks and things like that. That would be cool to run on this. And then I've got real cartridges set out and around me. I also have these, which are maybe fun to open, because I don't even remember if I booted these custom Robos, but supposedly this should support any region type. And then I have some more boxed copies that I've got that we can open and just feel nostalgic about and open. The other thing I wanted to test out was the Pokemon Stadium games. I have, well, where'd I put, I don't know where I set it. Oh, here we go. I have this to connect to these and hook the Game Boy games up and see what that looks like. So we've got several things to test in here, and then if anybody has any other recommendations for things they would like me to test, please throw that out. But I've got games in here. We should have more than enough to fill this time and test this out, but let me go plug this in, and we'll get started. Okay. Pokemon Stadium 2 feels like Ocarina of Time is a natural choice. Yeah, those are probably good ones. I don't know if you can see, but I do have a bunch of them down here. So I'll have to go retrieve a bunch of those and plug them in. But I'll do that while another game is running. So let me boot up to the, I guess, oh, that is one weird thing. This is not a like snap in to place. Like the N64 has the nice snap open, snap closed for that, or the real switch. This you push up and it pops back towards you. So it's just kind of like a little spring. It doesn't snap into the on position. So let's see. Hopefully this is all connected, and I didn't plug the brick in. That would help. Okay. So let's see. Hopefully we get signal here in a second, and we'll see how it connects. Oh, okay. Things are moving. Things are connecting. Okay. So it says press A to continue. I'll just show the controller here. A doesn't do anything, but luckily it looks like they've got some explanation. Make sure the N64 controller is in D mode. It is, which that is on the bottom of the controller here. It has a little switch between D and S. Press the start to turn on the controller. It is flashing lights. Hold the pairing button on the top until LEDs are cycling. And then it looks like I also hit this button on the front. And it's connected. So that's easy. That's what I was hoping for out of this, is an easy connection. The only, I guess, downside to this, oh, breathing room. open area, and I guess there are vents to the side. I did see little gaps on these sides of it, so I assume that's what the animation is showing. So leave it some room. And a big EULA, which we are reading, and we are reading. I did do that. I wonder if it's just telling me this again? Okay. That's odd. Okay. Because I did put the latest firmware on here. I wonder if that's just always a warning or a notification of something you should do. And hopefully we're getting the display up here. I'm not seeing it on my TV yet. Okay. In-game menu, I just pushed the start button, start left and right, cycle display mode, rumble controller pack, jump to inserted cartridge. Okay. And what I'm not seeing is this on my little monitor to the side. Let me see. We need to plug a little other monitor into the side. I will at least start a game so that y'all can see that. And let's see. And yeah, thanks for joining Almonds. Java sucks. Waving World. It's good to see all of y'all after a long time. Okay, let me plug in Ocarina Time. We'll just test that first. Okay, and this will be a first test to see if I need to clean these cartridges. It's detected it. One thing that I did see in a bunch of the reviews was that the album art, cover art for these is not included because that's copywritten material of having those images. So you'll have to provide those on your own. But as far as I could tell, they didn't include any instructions on how to add that. And I'm sure, like on the Analog Pocket, I know you can download packs that show either different games or different consoles and things like that and customize these. I saw a bunch of reviewers mention that they, on their review units, images were included just to show that functionality. But if you see that on here, that is why it's not showing up. Let's look at configure and see what's in here. So we have expansion pack, de-blur. This is one of the cool things, at least I thought it was cool, out of here, is that when I think did the stream with the Mister and was showing all that stuff, the one of the nice things about that is that you could customize the display modes of the N64. And as far as I understand it, there was like a bilinear filtering type of blur across every N64 game. And that's why even going back to them, they look pretty blurry even with everything. The best cables, RGB mods, all stuff like that. And there are ways to get around it, but on real hardware, it's really hard. So it was cool on the Mister that you could turn that off and de-blur it and make it as sharp as possible. And you can change that on and off here, which is really nice to see. The anti-aliasing, that was also something you could do on the Mister project as well. The problem I found with anti-aliasing is sometimes it seemed like it was intended, like you would see weird bits of texture and weird bits of clipping that seemed odd to me. So I never played much with that mode on, and it seems like that's the default they have here. The one thing I'm really interested in is the hardware overclock. So you can go in here and you can make it so it's as close to the N64 as possible, and you can do auto, which is supposed to, as far as I understand, change the GPU and CPU and RAM and give it extra when it needs it and it is slowing down. And then as far as I understood, this is different levels, that it's like enhanced boost some things, enhanced plus boost some things, unleash boost everything. But I'd seen in like Digital Foundry, several others have videos on this already and got like review units. This is one I bought with my own money, pre-ordered and everything. But I'm very interested to see what this does, because I'd seen in their videos that, oh, Perfect Dark runs at almost like a locked 30 now, and there's all different ways to do this, so that seems very cool. We also have all these display modes in here that you can do, and we'll see what this looks like. I'm very interested, especially on YouTube. Typically when I record footage, I go with the like just classic and go from there, but we'll see how that looks. Like I would do clean typically for YouTube and see how that goes. But we'll see. We'll look at how the scan lines and everything look on here. I guess we'll start with, what did they have default? They had BVM, so we'll just leave it there. And I guess let's hit play, and then I'm going to try to hook up this monitor so I can see what's happening. Okay, took me forever to find a power brick. So let's see if I can get footage now. Okay, I have a little monitor so I can view this as well. What do y'all think? How's this look over YouTube? Let's see. Waving World, will you be using this to play older games for future videos as well as your own entertainment? That's what I hope. I'm also realizing this is really loud. I guess it seems loud to me. How's the like audio levels compared to my voice there? That seems semi-decent, but yeah, I 100% intend for this to be what I play games on for the N64 from now on. One thing is it's just going to be easy to capture from. My only concern, and this is my concern with playing Mr. games as well, so here's it all plugged in with the cartridge inside. My only concern with playing stuff on the Mr. and this, especially the Mr., because that was more, it seemed to be pushing the limits of the Mr., being able to support N64 games. So I was always worried about starting a game and then getting 20 hours in towards the end and then realizing, oh, it doesn't run right. So I'm hoping that this will be reliable enough that I can play games on it, because it will be a lot easier to record from. That's for sure. And I honestly, I don't think it supports save states, but it does. You won't have to have the memory cards. It'll handle all that. So there are some like niceties that I think this would be my ideal way to play these games. But again, I want it to be as like close to the original as I can get in most cases, just so I can play how the game was, I guess, intended to be played, if that's even a thing on the N64. Okay, I'm talking again. I'm just trying to check the levels and see how this is to make sure that I'm not blasting y'all with this compared to voice. And then I will get to like actually playing this. Hopefully that's good. Okay. That seems fine. Let me know if I need to change that. Let's see. Looks good, like an old CRT with the lines and all. Does the upscaling feel good in your experience? I guess, I mean, this is my first time even looking at it in in person. So I think this looks good. The only thing that we're going to notice on here is that, and let's see, how do I get to the like main menu? Okay. So with the display modes, I guess I don't say, I'm assuming it's auto detecting that I'm going to be 1080p on here. And we'll just go to like the clean to view it. And then go to this menu. Oh, right. These are cartridges that I've gotten over the years, so I don't know who these people are. The biggest thing, so when I recorded N64 footage for other videos, what I was doing is the N64 with S-Video out, and then I was doing S-Video into the RetroTink 4K, and that was doing some fancy things to, I forget what it is. It's like S-Video to VGA, what's it called? Like DM15 or something like that port. I'm loosely understand this stuff enough to try to capture footage from it. It would get really clean video, and it would make the text look like pixels, and then it would make the gameplay look really clean, but it's obviously not going to change like the polygon sharpness. It's not changing render resolution. So I feel like I got a very good image out of the RetroTink 4K and then N64 into it. But the RetroTink 4K is a $750 upscaler, and then you have to have the N64, and you need to buy the cables, and you need to buy the old controllers. So that gets really, really expensive. The one nice thing is the 4K, I use it for everything. So when I'm recording a bunch of different consoles, that is more than paid for itself in my mind because I can use it for so many things. But this is a $250, I guess I should double check that price didn't change, console that has it all in one. So that's really nice in my mind because it gets it up to 4K, and it's applying all these scan lines and things that are nice to see. And then, yeah, Waving World. Video is noticeably scanline-y, definitely looks like a filter over the footage. You said that's on purpose. Yes. Let me pull up the menu again. So this is all to make it look like the old CRTs. So clean mode is typically what I would try to record in. That you can do like a fill that will scale it to as much space as available in the 1080p image that we're displaying at right now. I don't think I'm going higher on, maybe I've gone to 1440p, but either way, the fill is going to try to take up all available space. And so that leads to the uneven scaling to where on like a platformer, you would see shimmering on the stuff. It probably won't matter as much on the N64 because it's 3D images, and I can't imagine it'd make that much of a difference. But then you can do like integer fit, which fits it exactly to within 1080p. It scales up as much as it can without making 1 pixel 1.5 pixels. And then integer plus will cut off some stuff, but it'll go above. So this will maybe do like a 5 times scale, but cut off some top and bottom that's probably not used by the game, but it will get it as large as it can on the screen while keeping that even stuff. So like this gets really into the weeds, but all of these things are meant to be, hey, I want to display this like I might have seen on my consumer CRT at the time, and that's what I want it to be like. Which, yeah, is going to make it look like messy. Wow, Joe's done with this. How's Link doing? They finished the game with all the... Okay, this one's got a small save. So yeah, all these scan lines are supposed to make it look like how you remember it. And the one benefit to that in my mind is because these things are really low resolution. I think that was part of the worry when people were talking about this is, will people even notice that these games look better because they remember it looking okay, and then they see it on here and it looks about the same? it's not doing what an emulator would do. Like an emulator is going to make these polygons razor sharp. It's going to make it look where you can see the details in Link's face, which you cannot see here. And even if I go into change this and do the display mode without all the scan lines, so it'll be a little cleaner for y'all. And then let's see, we'll do integers, we'll do integer plus. So it cuts off a little bit, but you're still going to only see a few pixels of Link's face in this. So it's not changing that, and I do worry that is what people are going to want out of this. But for someone who wants to play these games as close to the original as possible, this is like the most ideal for me. This seems really great, and it's so much easier than the Mr. setup or even plugging all my stuff in. Like what I'd wanted was an all-in-one console, and this seems like that it will feel like a console that I kind of put a cartridge in and start it and then forget about it. So that seems really great to me. But that is a very, very specific mindset that I'm not sure if everyone else is like cool with, or if they're like, that's silly. I can play these on my computer for no money and it looks super crisp and you can do HD textures. So it's super going to depend on the person. But this is like a probably more clean image than I can. It's definitely more clean because I can change some of these settings and stuff like that to change the hardware. So it seems like, at least just first impressions, it seems like this is a better image, even if it's just slightly so, than I can get out of my N64 plugged into the RetroTink with all the special profiles and everything. And then it would really be comparable to the Mister, which is I forget what it's going for on the RetroPie. Let me see. What is it going for in there? It seems very comparable to the Mister, but the Mister does not allow you to play your cartridges. And that's something I very much want to do because I have a bunch of these cartridges and I like the nostalgia of that. And that seems very cool. But again, that's another subset of a subset of people that maybe there aren't that many of us. So yeah, this console is $250. The controllers are $40. But I did get these controllers off of Amazon like just the other day, and they were $25 because of a coupon. So that is something that those will maybe go on sale. The analog products I don't think ever go on sale. I think if anything they go up when resellers get to them. And then let's see, the Mr. Pi that Retro Remake had done, it's currently sold out, but it's $125. And that's, I think, the all-in that comes with all the accessories and stuff like that. Yes, that comes with all the accessories. So there's like Turbo and Mega Pack. So Mega's 160, 120. It's still, you could get the Mr. Pi for $185 when I look at it here, and it could run most of these N64 games with most of these options, but you would not be able to hook up your cartridges. You'd have to get some accessories to use your real controllers. So this is a very niche product, but I'm still very excited. So, okay, so we've run around in a little bit in here and just seen. I wonder if I can get the like frame rate to slow down at all in here if I go over by these. I mean, I guess slow down more. We'll see if we go by these lasers if we can get it to really dip. And I don't remember how to play. I need to be higher up here. And if y'all have other, like, I don't know if you have questions about this or just want to see some N64 games. But let's see. This looks and feels like Zelda, so that's all fine. And let's go and change some of these settings. So we can turn the de-blur, I guess, turn de-blur off, and you can maybe see some of this, that just even the text, like that looks blurry to me. So if I go in and change this off, that looks crisper to me. Like to me, it seems like it's smearing the pixels almost left and right on this when the de-blur is, or I guess blurring is on and de-blur is off. The other nice thing is there's the option to turn on extra colors, which again, these are things you could get on the Mister. I can turn off anti-aliasing too and try to get like even crisper on here. Let's see if we can back off. And I should probably stop moving, huh? To be able to tell like if anti-aliasing is on or off. But you do see like big jaggies on this platform that I'm standing on here. And then we'll go turn the anti-aliasing back on. And look, no jaggies except under the feet. So I do know that's something people complain about on the N64, that the anti-aliasing makes it look like an even softer image than it was before. But this is one of the things that I think, to me, I like the games when they have anti-aliasing on the N64, because it reminds you of how the games like looked at that time. But it very much depends on the game. If I'm playing like something different, I may have a completely different opinion. But like just seeing that edge that's right next to me here, and then turning that off, it looks just so sharp and weird in here to me. But again, this is all preference, and you could customize it, so that's cool. And let's see. Oh, I can't change the... That's interesting. How do I quit a cartridge? Oh, that's silly. Okay. It looks like when you go to the configure, you have to change the overclock. Let's just do unleashed. You have to do this before the game starts. I guess that makes sense to me, that it might be doing some fancy stuff behind the scenes. Let's see. It's a really powerful machine. I'd have HD super sharp is different aesthetic from the original fidelity. It's mostly preference, because gameplay will always be the same. Yeah, also the one thing that I've seen is like they have the decompiled N64 games that have been coming out, where people have, I guess, reverse engineered and then eventually figured out how to decompile the games, and then they can make PC native ports. And those that I've seen have been incredible, because you can run these games at like a full 60. It has all the same functionality of if they released a port of this onto the N64. Well, even these menus, this already feels faster to me. Maybe that's my mind playing tricks. But yeah, those decompiled ports are incredible, that you can do things to where it seems more dependable than just a emulation piece of software. But then it also is doing things that enhance the game, and it's all in one. It's kind of prepackaged thing. Granted, you're supposed to supply the ROM files, and it kind of decompiles them and then plays them. So there's a little gray loophole there, but there's some really cool stuff going on for N64. For playing cartridges, this is what I was hoping for. I'm trying to, like, I didn't notice any slowdown earlier, so this feels about the same. Those menus felt different, and those felt faster to me for some reason. I don't know if that's a true thing that's happening, but no, we'll not save. We'll go over here. Those sharp edges looking like, or sharp edges looking like MS Paint. Yeah, it looks like when you do the line tool, and then you just see just the jaggiest line you've ever seen. That's what they're going for here. So yeah, I don't know how much more we want to see of this, but hey, no slowdown there. I should have thrown a bomb before I started to see if it was slowing down before. But this looks really good to me. This controller feels good to me. I know I'd seen some people complaining about this controller, about it not having the same, I believe, range. And I think the example I'd seen was like F-Zero X to see what that would look like. So we can try some other stuff there. If y'all have other suggestions, let me know. But I'm just going to hop over to another game here. So we've got Legend of Zelda in, taking it out. I guess we can switch to top-down view. I'm interested to see what the Game Boy stuff does. So let's do Stadium. Okay, took me a second to find it. So Pokemon Stadium. It has been detected immediately. These are all pretty recently cleaned. And let's just leave, I guess, everything at default. And, oh, we should try the other thing. So Right. I have no idea how to turn this controller off. Let's switch to a real controller because we want to do the pack. And I want to see if I do the little Game Boy expansion pack thing, how this works and how this connects. So let's try that. I should probably add this stuff in first, shouldn't I? And we have a memory pack in. Let's go ahead. I would like to test and see what these do in here. Let's do that, and let's just do... Did this have... Yeah, I think this maybe had a save on it. Okay, so everything's hooked up. This should be recognizable. I do not remember off the top of my head, because I didn't have this game growing up, if you have to unlock this mode to be able to play the Game Boy games on it, but I guess we'll see. Okay, I didn't have to change anything. I just plugged this in and it started working. So that's cool to see that it's either disconnected the old controller or done something behind the scenes. It at least didn't override it. And, oh, this controller is turned off. So it seems like it automatically disconnected when I plugged in. That's pretty cool. I have no idea how to pull that menu up to change the filters, though. Let's see, if I reconnect this, it has assigned me to slot 2 now, and I cannot change any of the settings. Okay, so let me unplug slot 1. And it's, okay. So let's turn it off and turn it back on. That's interesting. Oh, it did tell me to turn the console off before switching games, didn't it? Or did it tell me to quit before switching games? Oh, while game is running. Okay, so quitting was fine. Okay, I'm turning it back on. I'm connecting the controller. It is nice that you can just hit the start. I wonder if it wakes the console up. I haven't tried that yet. Okay, so it's turning on. It does take a bit to boot up, especially compared to the N64 itself that is just like instant. Okay, Pokemon Stadium. And then let's configure it ahead of time. I guess that's the nice... I should have done this. I should have configured ahead of time. We'll do clean mode. We'll do integer plus just so we're getting as much onto the YouTube as possible. Because the other integer is going to be a little small. And then I'll plug in this controller. Hopefully it hasn't started up enough. Okay. So we are connected. Turn the N64 control deck off before attaching or removing a game pack. And look, I've gotten into the trouble with this now that... I wonder how I do this. Oh, N64 game packs data. No. Does anybody remember how to do this in the N64 version? Or is it, is this not clean? Okay, this is all, oh wait, Game Boy. And you're seeing this stuff cut off because I did Integer Plus, which apparently is not good for this one. The Pokemon game pack is not in, turn the N64 control deck off, then insert the game pack. I don't know what turn the control deck off means. Does that mean the controller? I see no switches on this little Game Boy accessory. Again, I didn't own this game growing up. I just played this at friends' houses, so I'm, I guess, thoroughly confused about what I need to do here. And I didn't pay close enough attention to to this start. Pokemon game pack is not inserted. I've unplugged the controller. I'm plugging it back in. I don't know what I don't know what I'm supposed to do different. Okay. I've just turned it off again. Let's see. Does the internet tell me how I connect this? I truly don't know. Let's go back. Let me turn off Integer Plus so I can see the full screen. And then we'll see what it looks like. I have turned it back on. It's thinking, it's waiting, it's slowly connecting. It is a slow boot up. I really need to pay it. Okay, yeah, I should look into that too. What are the hotkeys on like my normal controller? Display mode, clean, just normal integer. Oh, and you can do stretches and zooms and things. Sure. Oh, and these are just settings. Oh, okay, okay. This gives me my display modes I was wondering about. Auto low latency, display. It won't let me get to those. I wonder why that is. 110, sync mode 0 delay. Weird. I wonder why I can't edit those modes. Okay. We'll go into here. We have the cartridge pack fully inserted. There's no switch, as far as I can tell, anywhere on this controller that I would have to worry about. So we're going to play the cartridge and see if this connects. I would think it's the insertable pack. If it's not recognized, you can always use the rental Pokemon in game. Sorry for the difficulties. Oh, okay. There's a problem with the connector. Did I see this when I was coming into the game the first time and I just wasn't paying attention at all? That's extremely possible. I did play all this on the analog itself earlier, or on the like analog pocket to make sure these games had saves on them. And they did, so that's odd. I don't know why this won't connect. I could always try a different controller. Let me do that, and then we'll give up on Pokemon Stadium. You know, I don't know how the compatibility of this is, but one other thing I wanted to test was a third-party controller. So Retro Fighters has this controller that I'd gotten, thinking, oh, let me make N64 games more comfortable. And then when I was playing Bomberman 64, it was really hard to play with anything but a real controller. I was getting like a lot of weird snapback that if I'd let go of one position on the controller, like have the control stick up and then let go, it would immediately turn my character around when the stick would snap back into place. Something I never thought was that I'd be actively searching out and trying to get back to the original N64 controller. And I have put the pack in here, and now it's stuck in a way that seems maybe bad. Oh, God. Okay. Okay, it's maybe connected now. So Pokemon Stadium, playing cartridge. Let's see if this gives us a different. Okay. Pokemon Stadium. I have no idea what the N64 controlled deck means in this case, but it seems like I am connected, but it says game pack none. So I think that either the cartridge is dirty or something is going on that is preventing this from working. So we will give up on this for now. We'll see. That is weird. I guess what we can try is we can unplug this. I can go back, quit this, and let's just see, just in case, if I put in Pokemon Stadium 2, does it magically read cartridges better? It shouldn't. But you know what? We'll also get to see Pokemon Stadium 2 in action, so that'll be That'll be something. So we still have the game inserted. Pokemon Stadium 2 supposedly supports gold and silver, but those have their batteries are bad. So we'll see. Oh, look, and Pokemon Stadium 2 says unknown cartridge. Take it out, put it back in. It is recognized. How do I remove? Oh, I can remove with the C up. So I can remove unknown, and it will remember Pokemon Stadium 2. One thing I should mention is that this is not saving these cartridges to the console. This is apparently just a like library list of games you've played in here. You still have to put the cartridge in. Who knows if this will get jailbroken at some point, and that will change, but... Okay, I have my pack in on this controller. Starting it up. I forgot to go change. That is... So I have to go change that setting for every single game. If I want it to be like the clean view, I need to go do it per game, and it seems to save it. But that is something to keep in mind. Seems like that would be a nice feature to say like an overall, what is the default for this? Okay. Hey, this does... So I did boot this up earlier, and my brother's save is on here, which he has his profile named Will. And so it seems like it's connected in here. I don't know what's going on with the other one. So let's see that. I don't know where this is the first time I booted up Pokemon Stadium 2, so I have no idea where this is. I assume in the city again, and there's like a Game Boy tower, like, oh, yep. GB Tower. Let's just see what this looks like. It's not recognized. You can always do rental yeah. Anytime I played this at friends' houses, I think we always just use rental Pokemon, and I never did anything different. But look, it's a Game Boy playing through the Analog 3D through the N64 game Pokemon Stadium 2. Oh yes, back when games came with a thing you held and came with paper manuals. Oh yeah, I miss the paper manuals so much. I like the special editions of games that started coming with them, but it didn't used to be a you pay extra for this. It used to just be a thing that was included, which makes me feel old. Let's see. It's a peripheral, so maybe future updates. Yeah, that could be something. It could be my game is dusty, and that would maybe. It seems weird that it works in this and not anywhere else. In Pokemon Stadium 2, but not Pokemon Stadium 1. But yes, I was wondering out of the box if this would be something where it's just not supported and it needed to be an update. Theoretically, the way these are pitched in that you're like recreating the hardware, you're programming the FPGA so it thinks it is the hardware and any game should work is the idea for FPGA. So I would hope that all that stuff would work out of the box, but we've already seen examples from reviews that I've seen is that it doesn't work exactly like the N64. Hopefully it gets closer, but I was kind of hoping for like 100% parity, and at least this accessory is working so far. I don't have a Rumble Pack. That would be interesting to play too. Let's see. According to a Google search, the controller deck is the console. That is that's a horrible name for it. I do not like the console being called the controller deck. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't like it. I guess I plug my controllers into it, but it's more than just a deck for your controllers. It plays the games. Strange it works in 2, not 1. Yep, I agree. That is very odd. But yeah, cool. I was always thought this was like one of the coolest features. I need to switch to another Pokemon. What has my brother given me to this party? This is rough. Oh yeah, we'll just go with Charmander. I always thought this was such a cool idea to be able to play your portable games on the TV. But I don't know a lot of people. Like, does anyone in here? Did anybody go through and play these Pokemon games on their TV and like keep it all hooked up? I don't actually know like how many games use the N64 transfer pack. That would be interesting to see. What was the connectivity? Because all I know of is Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. I wonder if some of the things like, doesn't Perfect Dark have a Game Boy version and an N64? So do those connect in some way? That would be interesting to see. But yeah, we can move on to another game because I'm just glad that this controller pack works. That's a cool feature, and we'll play some other stuff. Okay. Now I can do this is the switch I was doing. Let me see. If I just pull this out, this controller, then when I hit start, will sync up and that green will light up and it will connect. So that's what I've been doing because I don't remember what the hotkeys were. It told me at the start. But that is nice. I was worried that if you unplug this, it would send this into a spiral of like, I have no controller and I must scream, and then it would never do anything. So that's good to know that it's like actually handling a change like that. Okay. So what else should we play? We've not really played that much, and I guess that would be a good thing to do, is to actually experience some of these games. I remember trying the mode, but the 8-bit sound on good speakers drove my parents crazy. So once, yeah, I have so many memories of blasting my Game Boy speaker in like a long car ride or something because I thought the music sounded so good, and then my parents absolutely hated it. They were like, "You have to turn that down. It's driving me crazy." But the Pokemon music is incredible. I don't know how they could get tired of that, right? I don't get that. Okay, let's try the other thing. This is something I was interested before we just like actually play some games for a long time. Let's look. So this is the summer cart. This is a flash cart. I think hopefully it says on the back. Maybe it doesn't. I think it was from like JT Studios or something like that I ordered this from. That's like it's all pre-built and nice, and they do some nice things to make sure that the like cartridge pins are at the 45-degree angle so they don't bend your pins and do all this. So it's a nice one. You can order them cheaper than I did, not from, I think it's JT Studios that ordered it from, but they did kind of an all-in-one, just sent me the final thing instead of searching elsewhere or having to build it myself. So this should, if it boots, oh, nice. This is a ROM cart, so I have backed up these using the Retrode and this adapter for N64. So anytime I get a new N64 game, I back it up so I have a copy just in case these deteriorate or get dusty or get some corrosion. So I am doing that, and these also lets me back up the saves, which is just nice to do. So I've filled those in and gotten them running on here, and it is really nice. It is also nice for this type of stuff. There were a bunch of prototypes and stuff that have been like released for this, and one of the coolest ones. Oh, I wasn't even showing the screen. I'll have to go back to it. Sorry. Is the unreleased prototype of, oh, if it'll go through here, of Dinosaur Planet, that people have like archived this and got it running, and it is incredible to see what this looks like. Oh, Waving World, are you headed out? See you later. Thanks for hopping in. Sorry, I was debugging Pokemon Stadium the entire time. So yeah, the Dinosaur Planet, just the early version before they put Star Fox in it, which is very cool to see. I haven't tried that much of it here, but it is just really impressive to see how close this looks to the actual N64 version. And you know what? It looks like it's bugged out. So there you see why it is a prototype. Or can we just like reload the area or restart this title screen? We'll see. So yeah, there's even like a debug menu and stuff in there, which is very cool to see. But stuff like this that you can do. You can also do ROM hacks. People have added levels to Mario 64 and everything. And so if you have a flash cart, you can load this stuff up on here. Typically, in the past, from what I've seen, analog consoles have mysteriously gotten a jailbreak later down the line that lets you actually load things on it. But I still don't think, let's just see, if we do new and then just move on, will this play and I can see it? Or does this have an issue because there is some compatibility stuff. We'll see. Yeah, but typically I have seen that analog consoles have been opened up later so you could do that stuff, but I would still... I don't see a reason why you would get this unless you had a bunch of cartridges. Because part of the price of this, I'm assuming, is the fact that it accepts cartridges, it accepts the real controllers, everything is built in so you can treat it like a real N64. And if you take that functionality away by not having a bunch of the real hardware, I just feel like you should just get a Mister at that point, just because it would be all in one and you'd get a lot more out of it. The Mister in general is an amazing product, and the price of it, especially with like Mr. Pi bringing it down, is incredible, like an incredible value for your money if you just want to play stuff that is like very accurate, but also you don't have to own a lot of the real hardware. And you can with the Mister, which I've done. I've gotten adapters that work with my real N64 controllers and real Super Nintendo controllers and Genesis controllers and Saturn controllers, and like all that's available. So that is really cool to see. But this again, I think this is just for the people who have N64 stuff and want to experience it in a nice, easy way, and have a new version of the N64, which is a very weird thing to say, but. Yeah, so if you played the intro to Star Fox Adventures, this will seem very familiar, except just N64ified. And it's just really cool to see stuff like this. There's also a Glover 2 prototype out there, because they never made a Glover 2, and I guess people did preserve that at one point and put it out there. So that's very cool, but it's just good to know. I'll show you this menu since I was skipped away from it earlier, is I can see stuff that I backed up on here. So let's go in... Let's see, Beetle Adventure Racing on here. And let me get the cartridge. Oh, and it has controller packs detected, because I guess it auto has that set up. I can do that. And just to confirm here, here's my real copy of Beetle Racing that has been copied and transferred into this so that I can have a more dependable version of it that maybe won't wear out and have that stuff backed up. And this was a game that gave me a lot of trouble when I was trying to run this through the PC and try to like actually connect all this. It would not run well off any emulator I tried to just get good quality footage out of this before I had all the connections and the RetroTink and everything. So like at least from what I've seen, it's been a while since I last checked in with it. It seems like the N64 emulation is still a little spotty just on your PC and has some issues game to game. The Mister, I have not seen as much of those issues. The, real hardware, I haven't seen as much of those. So I'm hoping this is the in-between. This is my easy version of the Mister. It won't scare people away with the amount of cables dangling out of it. And I won't have to buy a 4-hub N64 set of adapters to be able to play with everybody. It just, multiplayer console is easy to multiplayer out of the box. That seems nice to me. Okay. I actually don't know. Does this controller have rumble? And this is one thing, is I had heard that these controllers, the 8-bit DOE ones, were a little twitchy, so maybe we'll see some of that in here if I crash, or it could be that I'm just not good at this game. But I have played a little bit of this because I had heard good things. I think Metal Jesus Rocks had maybe been one of the he's always into racing games, so when I'd watched some of that stuff about N64 games, I'd found this and picked it up, and it has been pretty fun from what I've played so far. But it looks a little sillier than I expected. I don't know if that's just the time, but it also seems semi-serious in a way that I didn't expect. So it's an interesting one. And yeah, it just seems like I'm probably just not very good at it right now. And again, I forgot to turn off and go to the clean filter, so you have to do that game by game, even if you're going through a flash car like this. Can I pass one single car and then call this quits and go into a new one? I can pass several cars and go off-road and mess up here. Okay. So yeah, that's working, and that's really cool. The thing I would warn about was same with the other stuff is like, if you're buying this to put a flash card in. I don't know if it's like that much worth it because you have to buy a flash card to get games onto it, when if you just had a Mister, you would be able to play it through the Mister. So I don't know. You'll know whether or not this is something for you, I guess. That's the real answer. But unknown cartridge, that is the Summer Cart 64 working in there. So let's set that to the side. Let's see. I know I had a request for Majora's Mask. Let's look at it. And what I didn't really realize, because again, I didn't have an N64 growing up. My friends did. I always thought they seemed very cool, and I was always excited to play them because it seemed magical to be in 3D. I didn't have a lot of experience with like a PlayStation around that time. But I didn't know that these are the less rare cartridges. I saw this in store and I was like, oh my gosh, it's the holographic, what is this called? I forget. Not holographic, but the little 3D image ones. I thought, wow, this is like a super rare one. And then I found out that these are the not rare ones, and the like rare ones that are worth a lot of money are the ones with just a flat image, I guess. Not that I care if they're rare or not. I was just like, whoa, I didn't think I'd ever find one with the cool cover. And turns out it was actually really easy to find one with a cool cover. Okay, so Majora's Mask has gone in, and I guess if we go back to this, it seems like it is... like it is sorting them like MOP right here, but it's taking Legend of Zelda off of that sorting, which is, oh wait, maybe it's going with Legend and not M. Okay, yeah, it's probably doing that. It's probably skipping the V. Okay, I'm going to configure this because I want this to be clean. Let's do integer and then go back. And for hardware, let's just do the unleashed and see if we get anything different out of this. And start up. I would also watch an explainer video on how the N64 and the PlayStation 1 did these weird blurry effects and stuff, like when it's in these dream sequences. With such like, I don't know, low polygon games like this, I want to know how those effects work, because it doesn't seem like it's something in modern day games where it's like a really expensive shader that goes on there, but I don't understand how these games work, what like the architecture is, and that would be really interesting to see. Okay, let's go. And this is another one that I had picked up with an intention to play and have yet to play it. So we'll check in on what Ted was up to last time they were in this game. Okay. Can I swim out of the box or I'm gonna drown? Nope, I'm good. I played Ocarina of Time, but I only played the 3DS remake. So I am a little wondering if I should go back and play the original, if there was stuff I was missing out on or they changed. I've heard Majora's Mask that people seem more conflicted on whether or not the 3DS remake is good or bad, like it makes good improvements or messes things up. So I don't know if that's something for Ocarina of Time as well, but yeah, Waving World, I'll see you later. Thanks for joining in, sending messages, chatting. It's really fun. I feel like I've been saying this forever, and I've mainly tried to like quiet down until something's actually done, but videos are coming. They're just slow. I've got a lot of stuff that's like in progress. I keep getting distracted, busy with work and stuff, but videos are coming. I also would like to start doing pickup videos again. I have some cool pickups that I would like to do videos on, but I just need to figure out how to balance all this again. But the channel is still alive. It's just not in the best state that I would like it to be, and it will hopefully be that way sometime soon, I hope. So when those videos start coming out, I hope you will be excited to watch them and give me feedback on, yeah, if they're of the quality you want, because all I'm trying to do is try to put out stuff that I would like to watch, and hopefully that's the same for other people. So I appreciate everybody like sticking around and viewing stuff and doing all that. Yeah, this sure is Zelda. I'm not noticing like a wild performance increase, but again, I'm not sure that this is supposed to be a like night and day difference in how these play. It's just supposed to fix some of the slowdown and stuff as far as I'd seen. So I also just, I guess I need to go play this game. These enemies are super weird. I guess I didn't realize there were newish enemies in this game. I thought there were a lot of reused ones from Ocarina of Time, but I know very little about it. Okay, let's try something else. Let's try, oh right, I don't have a copy of Perfect Dark, because I had played that on the Xbox port. What's another one? I like Turok. Let's see what that looks like on like the high res mode to see if it does anything fancy there. So let's close out of this. And then if anybody has other suggestions, definitely send them in the chat. And let's see. I have 2 unknown cartridges. Remove. I wonder if the flash chips would start putting out updates to let them show up as a named cartridge in here, or customize that in some way. I did have to enter or insert Majora's Mask a couple times to get it to read on here. The cartridge itself isn't in like the best condition. It has like some chips out of it, and it was almost like partially glued into place, or like it was in a weird condition. I got so excited by the shiny cart and the is that lenticular? That's what that's called, display, that I didn't really pay too much attention to how in a little bit messy condition it was. But that's more for me and being like, oh, maybe I got ripped off a little bit. Okay, so we have Turok 3, and I believe unknown cartridge again. Turok 3, Shadows of Oblivion. Okay, and here's the unknown cartridge that was created the first time I inserted it. And I forgot to change the settings again. That is the most frustrating thing so far, is I for something like this where I'm going game to game, which is probably not happening too often. Oh, I hadn't scrolled all the way down, so I see your message now, Almonds. Super Smash Brothers or Star Fox. Yeah, let me pull those out while this is loading. Okay, I have those ready. Okay, so let's see. I believe this has resolution high. And the thing that I had seen... Oh, letterbox too? Whoa, okay. Okay, let's just do high. I don't know if it will affect this game. And do I have a save? Oh no, these are all controller packs. I will have to see, because I have this little controller pack for games that we're starting to do saving and stuff in here. And I wonder if I don't know if this says anything about it. Virtual expansion pack. I wonder, can you have the Rumble and the controller pack at the same time? I don't know if that's a thing. Okay. Okay. I forgot, this one has a bunch of cutscenes. I'd played the intro for a video a long time ago and for some of the stuff, but I had seen that apparently, okay, right, the control scheme on these games is different than I remember. And I didn't change on the super fast mode, so let's get a feel for it. But the thing I'd seen on Digital Foundry and stuff is they were saying that for some games, if they are doing high res, they display it, 480i mode, interlace, and then it gets the weird artifacts of the like interlace signal in there. So I'm not noticing it on here. Could I notice it in person? Maybe not. But it sure does feel like Turok, and I feel like it feels choppy. But let's see. Is this going to change if I change the hardware mode? Okay, so we're going to configure this, and we'll go ahead and do this to clean. We'll do it to integer. Oh, and then hardware, overclock, and we'll just do unleashed. Now let's boot it back up and see what this does, if anything. The way it was described in reviews was it was like a nice to have feature that was impressive in very specific games. And that wouldn't make sense to me if the games like almost like seeing some games run on the Switch 2 from the Switch, that some of them were kind of built in a way that they automatically can handle that performance bump, and some were not. And I have a feeling that that will be a lot of these as well. But that is just my guess on here. I honestly, I cannot tell if my brain is playing tricks on me, but this feels smoother. That could be all in my head, but this looks smoother to me. I think it is. Like, even just that turn, I felt like that was choppy before and it isn't now. I don't know if I'm losing it and I'm buying into the marketing. That could be what's happening. What I'm impressed with in this game is just this almost looks like what I've seen several like PS2 early shooters and stuff look like. That I very much want to play more of this game, because it is just impressive what they were able to pull out of the N64 at this point. And also just the change in like this starting in a city. I know Turok 2 started in kind of like a space area, and then you go to the wildlands and all these different areas, and Turok is like a dimension hopper and everything. But this one is just so surprising to me. Like look at when I move around, that the little tassels on the hatchet move. I guess they're no, that's just an animation, isn't it? So they just stay like that. But I don't know. Those extra details I'm very impressed with. But I do think this feels smoother. I may be making that up, but I really do think this feels smoother. Okay. Well, there is Turok, and, you know, I haven't had to shoot anything yet, but it doesn't feel awful to control with the N64 pad. Oh, and we've run into the part where it doesn't feel as good. Okay. Okay. Yep. Oh, look, there's even goop on my axe because of this. Because of that encounter. And it has been wiped off because I attached something. Look, this game, ahead of its time. Very impressed from the very, very little I played of this game so far. Okay, let's play some stuff that is more known. I also am I wonder how I manage my saves on here. I guess that hasn't gone into it yet. It doesn't look like there's a way to manage that immediately, as far as I can tell. Virtual expansion pack, but I don't see anything that... like system... I'm not seeing anything that like lets me modify or move that around. I don't know if that's something that's just like not possible, but okay. Turok 3 coming out. Let's do, what did you name first, Ullman? You said Super Smash Brothers first in your list, so I'm gonna put that in first. First insert, Super Smash Brothers is detected. Nice. Oh, that's nice. It shows player count, Rumble Pack, Transfer Pack support. That's cool. That's actually helpful, because otherwise I'm having to go search a like Google Doc, and I forgot to change the settings again. Oh, and this game has a ton of slowdown. Let's see what that's like. Okay. Clean.
I guess this doesn't, the display mode is fine to change in-game if you're using their controller. It was when I was using the official N64 controller that I couldn't remember what the hotkeys were. And there were combinations of buttons you could hit that would make it so you could pull these menus up. I just didn't pay enough attention, and there doesn't seem to be a way to pull that back up, but maybe I missed that too. Okay. One player mode, one player game. It's so hard for me to tell. I wish I was as experienced with some of these games that I would immediately be like, that feels way better. It's all guesses for me. This is why I'm not Digital Foundry. It's why they exist. Okay. I mean, I remember this game, like, I remember it having a ton of slowdown. So this feels very smooth to me. But again, it is an absolute mystery. I am not a good source of information for this. But this looks and plays good. And something like this with 4 wireless controllers, you and your friends can get together and say, this isn't as fun as we remembered it being. Not for Super Smash Brothers. GoldenEye is the one that anytime I go back to people are like, I don't know how I controlled this. But I'm very interested to see if I bring this with a group of friends, that will it actually be really fun to play those games again? Will the like controller that's more like a controller we've used for the last 10 years make people more interested in playing these games? Because there's still so many of these that are, I think, are multiplayer classics. I remember having such fond memories of them, but I truly don't know if that time has just passed or if there's still some excitement here, and we just needed a better way to play them. Okay, bunch of Yoshis. This would have had slowdown, right? So this will prove it, hopefully. I don't know how many show on screen at once. Anybody in here got a favorite Super Smash Bros. 64 character? I always did Kirby. Probably because he was just easy for me to understand, because all the buttons do a different attack and he has an up B that makes sense to me and everything. But any preferences here? Any Smash fans? I remember a very clear memory of one of our quote-unquote friends never telling me how to do Smash attacks. I could never figure it out, couldn't figure out what button they were hitting. It took years. I think it was when the GameCube introduced like the C stick that I finally was able to do one, because I didn't understand it took in like the velocity of the stick position and your A button, but they refused to tell me. They would pull out like Ness's baseball bat and just catapult me into Oblivion, and then say, you'll just have to figure it out whenever I'd ask, how do I do that? What are these special attacks they're doing? How do they hit so hard? So yeah, there's my withholding memory of people not telling me about Smash attacks. Pikachu for me, but still no slowdown at all. I mean, can you tell anything, Almond, in any of this? Like, does it look like anything slows down? Because I'm not feeling that like chunkiness that I expect from one of these games, but I guess we have one way to find out, right? I can just... Let's quit. Let's go back. Let's fight all these Yoshis one more time. Oh, and let's quit again because I forgot to change the settings. So configure hardware to auto. Honestly, let's force this. Nothing slow on stream. I'm impressed with it. Okay, I mean, that's good. I honestly don't know. I don't know a super good example of slowdown that I could immediately jump to that we could like really see it in action. But, and honestly, Super Smash Bros. May just be really smooth. I do like that by default they're doing the Start. Okay. They're doing the slow or the like overclock as an auto, because that means just out of the box you put a console or a game in and it will feel like better than you remember to play, or probably as good as you remember because you're forgetting about slowdown and stuff. But see, look at look at my skill level. It's low. It's very, very low. This enemy is not attacking me, and like I know there are some impacts on these, and that's I believe intentional. Even that zoom out, that like, did that feel a little chunky? Is that just like a slow camera move, and that's it? That felt, there's maybe a chunk there. I need like 1,000 little particle effects to go off at once and see if that changes anything. Okay, we're heading to the Yoshis. We'll see if anything looks out of the ordinary here.
3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah, I think I felt another chunk there. I think when those like 3 enemies were going off, well, the hit effects also slow things down a little bit, like intentionally, so it's hard to tell. But I think even the wind up for that hit, it feels like there's a little like chunk there. It's barely noticeable. Probably if I were to bring this console over to your house and I had an N64 and this under a sheet and I plugged a controller in, would you be able to tell the difference? Probably not. Maybe if you play these games frequently, you'd be like, whoa, why does this feel so much better? But what I'm going for with this console, the reason I bought it, is I wanted a easy way to play my N64 games at as close to the original hardware as it could be, and like a little additions like this are really nice. It's something I didn't expect. They really didn't tell us much about this going into the pre-order. So it's cool to see that there are some features, and I'd be interested to see if they add more along the way. But okay, look, we've scientifically found out that it's fixing slowdown in Smash Brothers, I think. Okay, let's see what Star Fox looks like in here. And immediately detected. Let's leave this all auto, and I just want the display mode because we're trying to do this for YouTube. We'll do integer, go back, we'll start it up. I do think we'd probably be able to tell the slowdown really easily in a 4-player multiplayer game where a bunch of stuff is happening, which I won't be able to tell at this point because there are no friends over right now. Okay, so main game. This is another one. The 3DS for me was where I played a lot of these N64 games for the first time. I played Ocarina of Time for the first time on 3DS. I played Star Fox 64, or like finished for the first time on 3DS. And I've never gone back to finish the originals, and that would probably be fun to do. Are there any differences between these? I don't know, but I would assume for diehards, maybe there are some things of like, oh, it ruined the game when they took out that very specific thing that I maybe only cared about. Feels pretty smooth, but I have no point of comparison.
We're entering Corneria City now.
And this is just on the auto mode. So the other ones you are like forcing a specific, let me max out everything. I'd love to hear what auto is doing. Is it detecting slowdown? Is it just boosting stuff per game? Like, do they have a list of, oh, Star Fox needs the GPU boost and this needs the RAM boost? I wonder what that would be. Oh, I do have something in mind. I have like what is it, Body Harvest by some of the like pre-Rockstar people. I remember that running pretty chunky, and Ooh, I don't think I have a copy of Blast Core. But that would probably be another good test of just like, here's something that pushed the hardware to its limits. Let's see what it looks like on the new N64. Also, I don't know if anyone saw, but the Analog 3D and 8-bit Doe announced that they have a version of these all-white controllers that I got that'll come out in like January, February, that have the colored buttons on them. So it has the blue, green, yellow C buttons, the big red start button and things and it has like the original controller gray. Again, they're going to probably make a killing on all the cool little variations of controllers and console shells, because N64 is one of the most colorful consoles in my mind, and they could definitely get away with putting out just a bunch of different variations on all that. Yeah, Star Fox plays good. I am very excited to play through a bunch of N64 games. A lot of the ones that I have on my shelves are from one of my friends that graciously gave me a bunch of these N64 games to play through, so I will hopefully be able to play through more of these, and I'm just really excited because, again, I never had an N64 growing up. I always wanted to play these games more than my friends wanted me to when I come over to visit. This does have rumble. I don't know if you heard that vibrate on my desk, but it does rumble. And it's just cool. Like, this makes me feel like I am reliving the N64 because it is just, I've got my little controller. I'm getting like into these games in a way that I've always had a trouble with. And the real hardware is great. I honestly have no complaints about the N64 itself, other than when I booted up the Mister for the first time and saw the like de-blur and things like that. It was just so cool to see that and to have that recorded at such a high quality for the original hardware, that I then got in my head of like, well, if I'm recording videos for it, I would want the highest quality, so should I play everything on the Mister? But the Mister is getting updates currently on the N64 core, so is that like a trustworthy way to play it? Am I gonna complain about something in a review and say I didn't like this, and then people say, what did you play it on? Because that's not in the real game. This is hopefully an answer to all that I will just be playing a bunch of N64 games on this, and enjoying them. I don't know how long this boss takes to fight, but I'm trying to take it down. Oh, okay, that was it. And like that explosion, was that hit effect intended to have a little chunk to it, or was that not supposed to be there? I have no idea.
You're becoming more like your father.
Okay, let's go back out and what was I talking about? Body harvest. Yeah, let's see. Okay. And this has Rumble Pack too. Let's see what this is like. And I forgot to change. Yeah. Okay. Analog, I need a way to change this at the top level. It's nice I only have to change it once, but once per game? And I forget it literally every time. Okay, so let's max this out. Let's go unleashed. I'm no longer worried about comparison. I just want to see how the games play. Should I have done compare? Oh, I don't know. I guess we can go back. We'll see how it plays initially, and then we'll jump back to original hardware and see how it plays. Oh, look, Java, did I get this game from you? It's okay. Let's see. Here's a full spin. Seems pretty smooth. Not noticing a lot of chop in the spin. The movement speed is odd in a way that maybe is not gonna come across super well. Okay, there's and that's how I shoot. Yep. No new info. Good to know. No info's good info. And look, the zoom out, rotate camera. It's looking smooth. I feel like this is just smooth. Okay, I know, or I thought I knew that there were vehicles in this game, but I can't get over some of these mountains. And if anybody's got a suggestion for something else to play, please throw it out. I'll see if I have a copy of it to try. Okay. Treacherous hills. Oh, what's this barrier too? Yeah, what is the map? Whoa, that was a cool effect. I'm sorry. Is this an open world game? Oh, Tony Hawk. I don't know if I have the 64 versions of it. Almonds, did you play a lot of Tony Hawk on the N64? I feel like my first introduction to Tony Hawk was on the PlayStation, and it was a while later that I found out it came to other consoles because it was just so closely associated in my mind with the PlayStation. Whoa, look, there's NPCs. Will they talk to me? Okay. No new info. A, B, those had cheat. Oh. So I pulled the trigger on my gun, and then it blew up the car, and then I died. Let's see, Almonds. I got it late on N64, but didn't have the memory pack to play more than arcade mode. Yeah, the memory pack was surprising to me. When I was trying to play through the Bomberman games, that's when I had to start getting the memory pack and things that I just didn't. I assumed all the saves went to the cartridge. I did not realize that the N64 had some games where you had to have the memory pack in there. I knew like GameCube had a memory card. I knew the PlayStation did, but I really had no memory of the N64 needing one. Resident Evil 2, Modern Vintage Gamer was saying it had issues with the opening FMV, but I'm wondering if it's just because he had overclocked Unleashed on and it made it unstable. Let's see. I need to quit this. Do that. Oh, I do. Okay. Okay, so this is one I can do through Summer Cart. And we can test it. Oh, wait, we have... Hold on. I guess we could do it all three ways, couldn't we? Okay, so this is opening FMV. I assume you mean when I start the game and not just at the start menu. Random access streams. Oh, right, because wasn't he mentioning like audio desynced? I had no idea this game had blood color options. Was that just an N64 thing?
A bizarre incident occurred in the outskirts of an American suburb called Raccoon City. It was later revealed that the terrible disaster had been caused by the T virus, a mutagenic toxin created by the international enterprise Umbrella Incorporated for use in bioweapon experiments. The Raccoon City Police Department's special star...
I'm trying to stay quiet so y'all can tell something's not syncing.
The case was apparently closed.
If there's like an audio desync or
thanks to
anything else.
efforts of STARS members Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. But the Umbrella Corporation's experiments were far from finished.
Yeah, I had no idea the N64 had different colored blood options than that. I was wondering if that was like a Nintendo censorship thing or something like that to allow it. It's cool the PlayStation 1 had it as well.
What have we got here?
I'm going to change this to clear just so we can see a little more, but... I don't remember the Modern Vintage Gamer video. Was he having issues at this point? Or was it a later desync? Like, does it seem like it's working better just on the auto mode?
Man, what a mess. What could have done this? What was that? What are these things? All right, that's far enough. Don't move. Don't move. No! What's up with that guy? That was a clean hit. I'm running out of ammo here.
Wait! Don't shoot!
Down!
Oh, the FMV crashed, but not before the audio got caught and started skipping. Okay.
There!
Yeah, I would hope at the very least if,
Okay.
like, it's on auto by default, but surely if you force the mode to original hardware, rather than any overclocking, auto or otherwise, it's after Leon and Claire are in the truck.
Right?
Yeah, first day on the job. Great, huh? Name's Leon Kennedy. Nice to meet you.
Mine's Claire.
This is another game that I've only played the remake of. I played the Resident Evil 2 remake and was really impressed with it, and it's made me want to go back and see what it played like originally. So I was super impressed with 2, and I didn't realize how much of that was seemingly in the original game.
Did you open the glove box?
Sure. There's a gun inside.
Better take it with you. You okay?
Still in one piece.
Maniac's gonna ram us! Run! Claire!
Leon!
I'm okay. Head to the station. I'll meet you there.
Okay.
So is it good? Oh gosh. Oh no.
Okay, I think you passed the point at Crash for him. Saw me in the backseat, never played. Oh, okay. I had also wondered, I don't know. I guess it said the firmware came out on the 18th. Okay, I do have a gun. I just don't know how to play this game. So I will be dying here. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, I mean, that's good to know that either they had patched it, because I don't, like, the firmware version that they asked you to install before you can supposedly use any of the controllers and stuff like that. I actually don't know. I wasn't paying close enough attention in those videos to see if everyone was on the same firmware or if they've introduced a new update since then. So maybe they fixed some of that stuff. Oh, he didn't update the controller firmware either. Yeah, so hopefully that stuff is fixed some, but I also didn't, like, I have no idea how early everyone got the consoles, if they were on a, like, updated version or something like that. Let's see. Oh, this would be interesting to, like, if you're using the Evercart or what, EverDrive or the Summer Cart or anything like that, you would have to go in and set it per game what it would be, which is not as easy to do. And let's see, I think I do. Okay. I am interested to see what this is like. So here's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 for you, Almond. And we'll see what this plays like. What would be the buttons? Yeah, I'm interested to see this. Okay. I would... Whoa. Should it be moving that fast? Does the game just play? That seemed really fast to me, but maybe I'm... Okay, that's my jump. What would B do in this situation? Okay, flip tricks are my B button. What would be my grind? Oh, that spins. Z button changes my camera. Oh, okay, it's up on the C button? Okay, that's kind of a reach. Yeah, this one's odd. Oh, I didn't even think about what music is playing right now. Am I gonna get in trouble for this music? Did I maybe checked on that? Because I didn't even think about that. You know, this sure does play like Tony Hawk. It's just weird. I'm so used to the, like, diagonal button layout. Almonds, I don't know what you meant by that's not just the stream.
I don't know if something was messing up. Or if... Oh, audio's fine. I was more wondering if there was licensed audio tracks playing that I was gonna get in trouble for playing. Since at least I can't hear the audio coming out of here because I didn't want it to interfere with the mic. So I'm completely not hearing whatever game music is playing, and it just made me think, oh, am I playing a bunch of licensed track that's gonna be bad? Okay, that's Tony Hawk. That played fine. The intro video looked like it was running super fast to me, but maybe that's... I've just never seen that video before. Okay, what I am interested in is Custom Robo. Japanese copy. And let's do a nice... Oh, I can zoom in for this. We can get nostalgic with what boxes were like with manuals. I haven't ordered a ton of stuff from Japan on like N64 stuff. I feel like I should be ordering more because this was extremely affordable and in amazing condition. Granted, I don't think this is like a rare game, but I was just impressed that they kept their boxes in such good... Like, there's even the registration cards, like the manuals in perfect condition. I also just appreciate these, like, these old manuals that actually have color in them, and they have so many nice pages, and they have unique UI elements to show everything. Like, it's so nice. Okay, let's see. Do we care about region locking on the summer cart? Or not the summer cart, the Analog 3D. Custom Robo V2. Ooh, and it even... Okay, yeah, it says region Japan. And then it has the names and everything in there. I wonder how it gets the names. Does it just have some library in there? The intro is what I was referring to. Oh, okay, okay. Japanese used games are usually in that good of a condition. It's rare to find N64 games loose over there. That's incredible. I wish I had kept better care of all my cardboard boxes of these things. All my Game Boy cartridge boxes. I have such fond memories of opening those, and I don't have a single one of them. Well, except the ones I have from Japan that came in this bundle when I bought a bunch of Custom Robo stuff. And I forgot to change the set. Okay. Wait, I only need to change the display mode. Never mind, never mind. I'm cool, I'm cool. Okay. Integer. V2. Oh, I think that's the story mode. I don't really want to do that. I want to go... Let's just do a little versus mode and assume most of these options are fine. Also, I love this old like computer interface for this too. That's very fun. Let's try this. Ooh, it's on like a battleship. Sure. Let's just go with one of these. And okay, so it seems to... There isn't a play with CPU option. Oh, I haven't tried a... I have more of these controllers, so it said I put it in D mode, and then I hit start to turn it on, and then I hit this button on the front to sync. Oh, and then I hit the sync button on the top, I think. Right? Am I missing something? Start to turn it on. And I was supposed to push the sync button, I believe. Oh, okay. It has been assigned to player 2. I think that is probably really hard to see because there's too many lights around here. Okay, so player 2, things are connected. It's still like that. That syncing process is what I would like to see out of something that is supposed to be an easier way. And this seems pretty smooth. It's another one where I don't fully know what the performance was like before, but seems smooth, seems like a good experience, and that's really all I'm looking for in this. Oh, the controllers vibrate. I need to move that off my desk. Really wish the N64 Custom Robo had been released in the US. Yeah, you and me both. I really wish more custom robos had come to the US. I really need to get around to the DS version. I need to play through that. I've spent some time with it and recorded some footage for like intro stuff, but I would really like to play through that whole thing. And these, I've seen that there's maybe a translation patch for the first game in here, but this would have been so fun on the N64. Like, I feel like this is on the level of Smash Brothers with you could just pick up and be in a little arena and battle. Like, it's so fun. I truly don't know why this didn't come over here. Or V2. Like, there were 2 chances to do it, and it was so sad to see that, I think Custom Robo V2 or V1, one of them is on the N64 Online app in Japan, and I wish they would start putting stuff on there that is not translated and just say, here it is. Like, if you want to try it, it's there. If not, you don't have to, because even that would be nice just to see this stuff out there. But yeah, I mean, this plays like I remember the GameCube one playing. I don't remember that heavy kick being an option in this, but that I just had an uppercut attack on this version. But I'm just so surprised. Like, the GameCube version, it's at least the 3rd game in the series. I forget when the GBA one came out. And it is so, like, this first game feels so much like that. It's like, we just missed, it wasn't like, oh, the US only got the version once it was, like, good enough. Like, this feels just as good to play as the GameCube version in my little experience with this so far, that I would have loved to see more of this. Perfect. Yeah, when the enemy doesn't attack me, I'm really good at this. Okay. Let's quit that one. It all worked. What else can we try? Oh, I know. So I did look into, when I was wanting to do Bomberman Second Attack. I thought I maybe got a really good deal on this, but I was fairly certain that this was probably a repo cart in some way that had been reproduced. Even just the, like, this one's weirdly, like, grayed out. So I feel like this one's fake. So I'm interested to see if this will run. Also, especially because real versions of Bomberman 64 The Second Attack, like, loose, go for like $200. So let's see. Does this work? Okay, it seems to function. So at least if it's a fake, which I assume it is, or like it's got a completely new case, maybe it's just an empty board. I guess I've never opened it up. It seems to work, and I display mode, clean, integer. Okay, so it seems like what I assume is a reproduction cart just based on some signs. Seems to also work fine on here. I don't know if this would have had issues later, or I have no idea about how repo carts on N64 are. Are those like pretty dependable? Are they not? I don't know. I know people make repo carts for like the Game Boy all the time. The local game exchange sells them, which I find very odd, and they sit them semi-close to where the paid real games are, which is odd to me. Okay, let's, hopefully I don't have a ton of cutscenes. Oh, that's the file I was playing on. I don't remember if I can mess anything up if I go play on this. And I don't remember what star is supposed to go on. Let's do Ocean. Maybe that's got a bunch of effects that would show this off. Okay, I can use the... Oh, okay. Yep. Remember, it is Bomberman. There are bombs. Okay. I do not remember how to play. I don't remember if I have the ability to pick up bombs yet or anything like that. But hey, it seems to function. I guess it's all we're really looking for at this point. Is are we having any issues with games? And it seems like not. And this one may be a fake game, and it seems like we have no issues. And the summer cart had no issues. I do wonder, I forget, it was one of the reviews I watched where they were saying that, oh, I can just, okay, sorry, bud. You were trying to help. I feel like I'd seen one reviewer saying that apparently when Analog was doing the testing and having reviewers test stuff, that a lot of people were using the summer cart, which makes sense because it's the cheapest option out there. Like the EverDrive stuff is pretty expensive, and it does have more features seemingly than the summer cart. And the summer cart is like an open source setup. But I wonder if they were just able to test more because that's what people were using and reporting bugs, and the others will get updates. Or I don't know if you'll have to wait for a EverDrive to get updated to do that stuff in the future. But okay, I hit a button. So yeah, this seems to work fine. I'm trying to think if there's anything else weird that I need to mess with here. I forgot you could hop in the water. This is one I really need to get back to because I'm interested in, like, it seems like a combination of the two. Maybe closer to 64, but it seems like it's got some hero stuff in it with these little creature collectors. It kind of reminds me of like the Bomberman Max and Bomberman GX and all that. Just with these little like creatures that you're training. I don't know if that's a Bomberman staple, if it was introduced in this game, but I'm interested to play more of this one. Okay, Bomberman, done. And I surely this one's not something special that I would like. Is the Ultra Unlimited mode gonna do anything on that? Probably not. Okay. Actually, I do know this Castlevania game, I feel like, is known to not run really well from the little I know about it. So let's be careful with the cardboard and open this up. This is one thing I didn't remember is that, well, first of all, there's a cool manual and thin. They should have been doing a little bit more on this. Like, not much custom art, just a blue background. Where's my full screen characters and like descriptions? Where's my Sonic Adventure 2 manual that's super detailed? But I didn't remember that some of these had just this little flap, like they were just sealed out, which is a, wow, these Japanese ones look a lot nicer with a nice little plastic tray that perfectly keeps it. And we've got a folded bit of cardboard that just slops it out. Okay. So Castlevania, I feel like I've seen that this game is pretty choppy, so let's go ahead and configure it to do Unleashed. Display mode, I'm going to catch it before I go in there. We'll do integer, and we'll hit play. The second one in high def mode using the expansion pack is one that has major frame rate issues. Oh, the second Castlevania game. Okay. Let me see if I have that one on, maybe that's on the summer cart. Let's see what this looks like at the start at least. We can compare.
Transylvania in the mid-19...
Okay. We're just skipping right in. It feels pretty smooth so far, but as with most of these, is this what it played like originally? What do I Oh, right on the C stick. Obviously, that's that's what I would have assumed. And oh, to hold on to these, you hold A, and then okay. Okay. That's not that bad. It's a little strange. Does this, well, let's see. And I guess this doesn't have the high def mode that would tax it. So we can hop over and see, but okay. Is there a, okay. There's like a recenter. I feel like I've never heard anything good about these games, the Castlevania N64 games. But I gotta say, I would have been pretty convinced playing this at a friend's house as a kid. Just a little action adventure with a whip, and you can hop around. Like, seems pretty cool to me, but I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know if they just get worse as they go on, or if it was more like, this is not the Castlevania that we like. This is not the style we want. But yeah, this seems to run really well. Everything refills when I walk away. Okay. Let's see. Quit this. Let's go try the high res mode in the other one. I guess I wonder if a lot of the performance issues are when you go high res and really push this stuff. Almond's got to head out. Appreciate the stream. Yeah, thanks. Again, I apologize. It has been so slow to put out videos. I did not intend for that to happen, but it has happened. And so I am hoping to fix that stuff up. And hopefully this live stream is the start of me getting back into things, because I played a lot. I want to talk about the games, but I appreciate you hopping in and viewing and hanging out. Really cool to, chat with people about games again. Okay, the second Castlevania was Legacy of Darkness, right? Yeah, okay. They're overhated. Oh, the Castlevania games. They're overhated. They're not perfect, but they have decent atmosphere. The biggest issue with them is very little of the classic Castlevania music. Oh, see, that's a problem. Since I'm playing this without headphones on or anything, that's being missed. Wait, am I on the right mode? I don't think I am. Configure. That's integer. Overclock, and let's just do unleashed. Go back in here. Okay. Proceed without say. Oh, I should have just created a new file. I don't know why I did that. And expansion pack. I'll do high resolution. Will Tindo, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I am glad to be doing something with the channel. It is nice to not have this just be complete silence and play something. So I know a live stream is not the typical thing that I've done, but this seemed like a good opportunity to do some more video stuff, and hopefully things will calm down enough for me to actually finish editing the couple videos I've started and then not gotten around to. So I hope I will have more for you before the end of the year that comes out. But thanks for still being here. Okay, we are on the super unlocked mode, right? I can climb up things. This is I like this attack. It isn't a whip, it's like Force Saber or something like this. Okay. Yeah, what you'd said, random access memories, the lack of the original Castlevania music, that does seem very sad, because that Castlevania music is so good that I could see people being pretty sad about that. Oh, okay. Monster. Whoa. That a limited transformation that can turn into a wolf? I have a few videos I haven't edited yet for my channel that could be done for my channel too. Yeah. Editing takes a long time. Always. I have not figured out a way to make it quicker. Let's see. Random Access Dreams. Yeah, that already looks way better than the frame rate than the usual N64 hardware. It does, like, just for the amount of stuff happening on screen and enemies hopping out, it feels very smooth. It's good to know that this is actually an improvement. And, like, this is... The Mr. Project, everything I'd heard was like, oh, the PlayStation 1, the Saturn, the N64, like, that there was this understanding that it would never be able to support those because they were too complex. So it's really cool that the Mister is able to do some of this stuff, but Analog, as far as I can tell and as far as I've seen, has a like really beefy. I could do a wall jump, or was that something weird happen? It seems like Analog has a super beefy FPGA in here that is not, you know, something in the semi-affordable Mister project that I was really hoping that we'd see something unique. It's still really sad to me that they're not supporting the open FPGA that they did on the Analog Pocket, to where you could use this to do more, which I assume is just because they want to sell a PlayStation 1 version of these, and like they don't want you to have access to all of it. I'm hoping that's not true, and they will end up jailbreaking it or something, but it's cool to see something, that it is recreating the N64 hardware, but it also has options to make some things better, but you can also play like as close to the original as possible. I like the in-between. They're not forcing whatever option on people. You can kind of choose what you want to do. And it's, I don't know, it's nice to see these things actually like running better, because sometimes the, oh, I want to play it as it was intended is not the answer, because it was intended to run well and they couldn't get it to go well in some ways. Let's see, my one Legacy of Darkness, pretty underrated. I've never thought about getting an Analog 3D, but man, the games look so smooth. I'm a little tempted. Yeah, I just have such nostalgia for the N64 as well that I was tempted and bought one immediately without even thinking about like what use case does this fit in my home. Will this be something I use? Especially as the Mister stuff got way better. It was like, will this be any good? But I am glad that there is a feature that I can point to be like, hey, I was semi-justified in buying this. And the hardware is cool looking, but yeah, having some feature that's unique is cool. But I still will insist that a lot of this is probably FOMO. I don't know. I don't know how, like, if you just, the only thing that couldn't get you through Legacy of Darkness was the frame rate, then maybe this is the console to get, and it is time to get one. But I don't want to pressure people into getting something that's like, I don't know, they're going to be disappointed with. That was my worry in their marketing, that people were going to expect super sharp polygons, and that's not what this is meant to deliver. Random access. My one issue is that I wish I could bypass the hardware resolution. Yeah, I thought in one of the mini reviews I watched for this when they all dropped, oh, the platforming is a little tough in here. But random access, I thought in one of the videos I watched, they mentioned that they had talked to Analog, and Analog was saying that they were investigating the possibility of bypassing the original like render resolution. I think that was at least in reference to the thing I heard several reviewers say, that I guess there was something with, like, I guess 2D games could use like a specific resolution that was higher, but 3D games mushed it down into a different, like there was something like something that was holding back certain games, that it wouldn't use the full resolution of the N64. So it sounded like Analog was at least working on that and changing it. But I do wonder, like, if they could even do a boost. I don't love when N64 games and have the super sharp polygons, like, and super high resolution. I've never enjoyed that type of emulation. When I've done stuff like that, I've still bumped the resolution way down just to give it the more chunky look, but to have everything just feel a little more solid. So I wonder how far they'd go if they would just, like, even just a boost, like, hey, do the, what is it, 240 output to 480 output, or I forget what the N64 is, but would they just like do a double the render resolution and then spit it out? Would be really cool to see. But all I've seen is that this FPGA chip that's in here is powerful, and I wonder what we'll see. It'd be really cool to get new updates for it that introduce new features, but I'm not holding my breath for that, although it would be really, really cool. Oh, this is just an invisible bridge. Okay. Will Tendo, I do wonder if NLD will be legal for speedruns or not. Yeah, legal? I don't know. I wonder if they'd have a different category for it, because it would be interesting to see with the overclocking. Does that, I'm sure that breaks a lot of speedruns, but maybe that like adds new ones that would be interesting to see, like boundary breaks and things like that. Let's see. The one kind of cool thing about Analog is they tend to support their products for a while after release. I have been very impressed with the Analog Pocket, like the updates to that, and it's a lot of it has been support of the community of them putting out open FPGA stuff, and then there being some updates to it. My biggest worry is that Analog, I see their things about like people still wishing that the Analog DAC would be supported so that you could take this Analog 3D and spit it out onto your CRT, or take the Pocket and spit it onto your CRT. Like, it seems like they've got quite a few unfulfilled promises, which is a little disheartening to see, but this 3D seems like a whole new direction for them. With the Pocket and this seems like, I don't know, something different is happening with the openness of the Pocket, and then this expanding a console's functionality is like really cool to see. So I really do hope there's like, I hope they have updates planned. I hope this gets a lot of support, and I'm excited to see like what they're going to do with it. Let's see, random access. Yeah, even if you could scale it, simulating 480p, 720, 1080p consistently or something. Yeah, I'd be so interested to see if they could just, even if it's just touted as like more display modes in some way. Because, and I think at the time, because I didn't have a good way to record, I'm pretty sure most of my Diddy Kong 64 footage was through an emulator, and then I rendered it higher internally and then scaled the like output resolution down, so it still looked like I was playing an N64 version, and gave that feel of it, because that's how I wanted to experience it. But it was just way like crisper and more detail added in. That would be really cool, because even when you see these games through an emulator, like there are extra details in some of these pixels and things that you can't see with the low resolution. And yeah, it'd be really cool to see. It's a little sad to me that they aren't just more communicative with like, hey, you see that we added this super frame rate mode. We are also planning on adding this. I wonder if they just don't want to get people's hopes up, or maybe they have no plans to do that stuff, but I wish they were a little more clear. I know people were getting mad about how they handled even the delays for this, that they would announce it like the day that it was supposed to ship. They would say, oh, it's delayed. Like it seemed like they were cutting it close with some of those things, but I want them to do better, because I think the stuff they make is good, and I legitimately like most of the things that I've used of theirs. Let's see, part of Some games would look really good at a sharp resolution, but of course a lot of games wouldn't as well. Yeah, and I do appreciate that there are the per game profiles in this that I can set a different CRT or a different like clean or a different overclock per game. I still wish I could set the default of when I put a game in for the first time, here's what it sets at. But I like the flexibility because, yeah, it's going to feel different, way different for a different game. And I like that they've already thought about that, of like, you might not want this for this game versus the other. And then if they introduce even more new features, that seems great. They've already got a good base of like not forcing it on all games, making sure you can save it. And that seems really nice because I believe, I guess I don't want to misspeak, but I thought the Analog Pocket, it's pretty like system level with most of the stuff there, that I'm not changing the scale modes just for Pokemon. I'm changing it for the whole console. So they've kind of done both ways of like, it affects everything or it affects one individual thing. And that was a horrible jump of mine. Let's see. Yeah, the analog DAC is pretty disappointing. They never did support it behind the original, original wave of support. Yeah, because it seems like it only worked for like their, and I don't even know if it made it that far. Like they did those original NESs and stuff like that, and then they did what, Genesis and Super Nintendo were shortly thereafter, and I don't know when it cut off, but all I see in the subreddit every time is like people still wishing for DAC support and being like, it'll never happen, they're never actually going to deliver on that. It's just sad because I did get the for my Analog Pocket, I got the analogizer that plugs in and then outputs VGA, and it is incredible to see. It's the same with the Mister, like having that stuff at the like crispest it could possibly be coming out of those consoles and then displayed on a CRT, so you're not worried about like oh, the signal is degraded or I've got bad cables. Like you can get a really clean new cable and put it into your TV and use the analogizer or use the Mister to display that on a CRT. That stuff looks so nice. Even the like downscaling stuff where people are taking modern games and downscaling them onto CRTs, like that almost super sampling effect is so cool to see. It almost feels weird to me that there is not like a, hey, this is the N64 for a new generation, but I can't put it on the same TV as my N64. I would have to buy a bunch of extra stuff to get it to actually connect. The only systems to support the DAC are the Super NT and Mega SG. Oh, the original like NES one they didn't even support it. Maybe that had an analog output to begin with. Yeah, SNES and Genesis where it cuts off. That's wild that it was such a limited thing there. And like that's what like did enough people not buy it? I just don't understand why they haven't even communicated why they aren't supporting it or said like, hey, this product is end of life, just to be aware, like we're sorry but it's too hard to support. Like they've just said nothing about it, and I feel like that's where they get the bad rap, is they're just not very communicative on that stuff. Okay, I played this too long. This is the platforming is like rough. I had trouble with that, but this does seem like a cool game, especially if it's running well. Yeah, the Analog NT supports it via the hardware directly. Okay. Was the Analog NT also the one where like that was using real NES parts at that time? And that's when they were doing like the wood grain and like all metal. Like that was a time where I looked at analog products and I was like, oh, I will never own one of those because that's just like a fancy version of what I already had for like ultra passionate collectors and stuff. Oh, you know what? Let's do a comparison of this. I'll put F-Zero X in. I just played this the other night. So let's go clean view, integer. I'm going to play this a little bit like the first race with the 8-bit DO controller. Then I'll play it with the plain N64 controller and see if I can tell any difference between how that plays. Oh, try Quake. You can disable the anti-aliasing in the game. Okay. Strange cable as its D15 standard, not the normal VGA out. Okay, the D15 is the thing, like the RetroTink, Mike Chi started making D15 outputs that go through VGA and into the RetroTink and all that, and I'd never heard that there was a difference between the D15 and VGA in that way before diving into some of this stuff, and I still hardly understand it. Analog is super weird and uncommunicative, super disappointing they discontinued the Mega SG and Super NT. Oh yeah, Will Tendo, that is so confusing to me, because now that I've got more Genesis games and more Super Nintendo games, I would actually be quite excited to pick one of those up, and I don't understand why you can't just buy them. Like, all their stuff is almost always sold out and in such limited supply, but they still show it on their site. Like, when's the last time? I don't understand why they're even still showing those consoles on the site if they're seemingly never coming back for sale, but maybe they have brought them back occasionally. It seems so weird to me, just how they handle stuff, and it sucks because the stuff they make is pretty good, and I would like to support them, but I would also like them to like be better. But this console seems really cool for a specific set of people. Even the communication about when it would launch and when it would ship out was a little like not super clear. I will say, and I don't want to go off of what I've also seen in reviews, because this game was specifically mentioned, it maybe does feel a little twitchy, but I also think this game is just pretty twitchy. Like, at least so far, it feels like I could still easily learn to play this way, but if I was playing on the N64 version and went to this controller, it would be like, well, why would I learn a completely new joystick like sensitivity for this? It does feel like I'm doing a pretty hard turn if I touch the wall of this, or like the edge of the control stick box here, it feels like that's like a really full turn, and so I'm pretty sensitive in the middle here. But let me try it with the N64 controller again. Let's see how that feels. Okay, I mean, I won on easy. Let's see. Try disabling the anti-aliasing in Quake directly with the deblur and anti-aliasing on top of it. Okay, I can try that next. They've randomly brought back their systems a couple times. I thought I missed my last chance to get the Analog NT, and then they suddenly had a few more for sale. Oh yeah, I didn't realize those had ever shown back up. I mean, I guess now I have to live with the stress of wondering when it might show back up, or if it never will. Okay. Oh right, I can. No, I should quit the cartridge. Okay, let me quit. And when I was playing this, what's that? No, that was like the night before last, I think. I was playing this with the controller, with this specific Funtastic controller. So let's see if this feels better. Oh, I think I was even playing on Novice then, so me losing that race would have been more embarrassing than anything else. Then they takes the edge. It's Scalper Central for them at this point. Yeah. It's so unfortunate. I mean, I guess the problem is that I put a pre-order in for this like a year, whatever ago, and that money was just gone until they eventually... Okay, yeah, that controller's way more sensitive than this. I feel like I can almost go double the distance with less movement on this controller. So it is... You have to be a lot more delicate on that one. It's not, like, game-breakingly bad, I don't think, but I'm not, like, a pro at this game, so maybe it would be on the higher levels. There's just way... I can move this stick way more, and my ship, like, it is not juking to the side immediately. I feel like I've got a lot more small movements I can make on this, but and again, that's like a very first impression. But yeah, I wish my idea has always been like, well, what if for these new console launches and stuff, like it was so hard to get the PS5 and Xbox Series X at launch, that I just kind of wish I could just be like, here's the money, just take it and tell me when it comes to me. But then you have the other side of Analog where I did that, and then I'm kind of like, well, when do I get it? Because you haven't really told me then. So it's I don't know what the solution is. I just wish there wasn't such a huge market for reselling these at the higher price. I just wish we could just keep them either in stock or like at least at MSRP and just like not have that culture, because it's such a pain to see, oh yeah, the bots got it and there's 1 million on eBay, but you weren't able to and you stayed up till midnight trying to get the pre-order in. It's so disheartening to see that. Yeah, the N64 controllers, it is better. And that's what I worry about on a lot of these things. Like, I want to play with original hardware because I'm worried of something like that. Of like, I'm going to complain, it was hard to control. And then it's like, oh, the second I use the real controller, it feels better. I don't think it's game breaking. I think you get used to it, but it certainly made that an easier drive or an easier fly than it was previously. Let's see. Will Tendo, been using these one Chinese 64 controller for years now, and whenever I use a different controller, they feel weird. Yeah, I mean, it probably is just what you're used to. For sure. Oh, for sure, I'm waiting on it to show up on Friday. Oh, nice. I'm glad it is finally arriving. Random access N64 games with built-in disabled anti-aliasing include Doom 64, Quake 64, and Automobile Lamborghini. I'll see if I have any of those on the summer card. That was not detected. Okay. And move this out of the way. Okay. Which one did you say? Quake 2? Or Quake 1? Oh, just Quake 64. Okay, okay. And then you said on Quake 64, try disabling the anti-aliasing in Quake directly with the deblur and anti-aliasing on top of it. Okay. Okay, I've had anti-aliasing on, so that should be fine. Nate Edge, yeah, Natex Edge. I've got everything but the Duo and the old Neo Geo stuff. I don't even know. I don't think I've even seen what their old Neo Geo stuff is. Yeah, the Duo. That was one of those consoles that were like, I barely knew that existed. I've never known anyone who. Nope, this is Quest 64, not Quake 64. Hold on. I never knew anyone who, although, so I have like no nostalgia for it. And with a lot of this stuff, it seems like I should only be buying these stuff from Analog that I have intense nostalgia for, because then that's when I actually own the cartridges and stuff like that. And otherwise, it never seemed worth it for me, but that's just me. Quake. Okay. If I can read correctly, there we go. Let's see. Will Tendo, I feel like the Switch 2 was the perfect console launch. I was able to get one on launch day from Target's website and didn't have to fight scalpers. I did really appreciate that. I did not have a hard time getting it. And even my friends that had like pre-orders canceled, maybe this would be in some options, were still able to find one afterwards. So I was pleasantly surprised for that. And I don't feel like I've heard a ton of people I've had to mess with it. Whoa. Is this the anti-aliasing, this filter that I turn on and off? Because, wow, those are just unfiltered textures. Or is there another anti-aliasing option in here, something like that I need to do? Quake 64, there should be an option to disable anti-aliasing. Analog Duo, Neo Geo stuff is made of wood or something like that. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I'd seen some old, like, wood consoles, but I thought that was different. Okay, and you believe that filter is what this is. Okay. This is another game that I need to play at some point. And I've not gotten around to it. I would assume the N64 is not the #1 Quake destination, but I was also surprised by, wow, that is, I'd be interested to try this with the real controller here in a second, because that is me barely, like, trying hard to barely move the stick, and this is me turning it left or right. That is a jump. Let's see what the original feels like. That's so much smoother. Yeah, there's... how do I jump? Okay, I can jump. I found a secret. Yeah, this controller feels so much smoother. But it almost just feels like if you could go into, and I don't know, I haven't tried, like the ultimate software that 8BitDo has, you can customize like their ultimate controllers and stuff. You can change sensitivity. So I wonder, can you do the same here? I didn't look into it. I just opened the software to update the firmware for this to be ready, but I didn't go in to actually see what options they gave me. And if you could change that sensitivity, I feel like it'll be, you know, no time when someone's like, okay, you dial it to this section, it feels like the N64 control pad. And maybe the extra sensitivity or like higher sensitivity, I guess that would be it. That this has a lower sensitivity on the real controller versus what 8BitDo has. If you can customize that, that seems great, but I feel like you're probably going to want the real ones for a lot of these games. Let me switch back to the 8BitDo and see, can I do as well with these enemies as I was doing before? I feel like I'm a little on skates with this. So yeah, this is me with the 8BitDo. I'm still able to hit stuff, but I just don't feel nearly as like smooth. I feel like I'm almost overcorrecting more than I should be. If I go really slow, I can still get that, but it just feels like it feels so twitchy. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Wiltinda said, Quake 64 is good, but Quake 2 on the N64 is legit a gem. I played through it this year and was pleasantly surprised. And then Natex, you can't, it's just calibration. Oh, you can't adjust the sensitivity. That is unfortunate. Because, yeah, calibration is good as an option, but it's weird that this hooks up to the ultimate software but doesn't let you customize it. Would that be down to like they didn't? That seems really weird. It seems like there would still be some way to change that, even if it was just like a different firmware they would introduce for a lower sensitivity or something like that. It hasn't felt bad in most of the games I've played. Like Star Fox felt fine. Most of the stuff I played it on has felt fine, but now I'm wondering, like, when I was falling off those ledges in Castlevania, would that have been better if I was just using the real controller? This is also the second guessing I get anytime I play not on original hardware of like, would I have made that if I had the real controller, if I had the real console? It's like your sensitivity settings are maxed out when they're just on default. Yeah. And I wonder, let's see, in the start menu here, controls, you could change this sensitivity way down. Let's do it like half and see. But that's also going to be, it's going to be per game. So like if a game doesn't have the sensitivity, it really should, like, I hope 8BitDo updates this. That's a little too sluggish, but it is closer. I just don't have the... Most of the time that I'm trying to use this as I would expect to use it, because it feels like a modern controller and I'm moving the stick like a modern controller. It feels like it's kind of all or nothing. Like it's really hard for me to do the small movements. Otherwise, it feels like if I just flick the stick to the left, I'm doing the full movement speed. Yeah, that's a little strange. I wonder if I can dial in a little bit more. Say like there. Still feels a little slow, but yeah, if a game doesn't have this way to customize it, like the 8BitDo should allow you to do this. Because this is just lowering my like max speed I can move. I can still move slow if I really concentrate, but it's just a slider completely, like, this is my max turn speed and that's going to be a pain in any like big encounter. Huh. Let's see, random access. Have you tried Mario 64? I haven't booted that yet. Yeah, we could try and see how that feels. And then Will Tendo, gosh, it's disappointing to see as 8BitDo normally makes really solid controllers. Yeah, it feels like a good controller. But also the N64 stick is so unique. Every time I've gone back to it, it's like, I am impressed at how well it works with these games, and then a little disappointed that I haven't seen a lot that have recreated that feel exactly. So I feel like it gets a lot of flack, the N64 controller, over like, oh, this is a bad controller, and I don't think it is. I think it's just so different, and the games were built for it being different, and so they don't work super well when you take that away. And nope, that did not get detected. Sometimes that cartridge port is a little hard. It feels like I'm not quite aligned with it. And it's a little hard to fit in there, but okay. And I played through Mario 64 on the Switch 2 when it came out for the first time. Or, sorry, Switch 1 when that collection came out. That was the first time I played through Mario 64. I played a lot on the DS version. And so none of these saves are my own because I have not really played the original one. But okay, let's see. What are you saying? This is, oh yeah. The big problem for me with the N64 controller is the size. I have small hands and it always feels awkward to me. Yeah, how you grip the N64 controller is definitely odd. But there's something about that stick for sure. Okay, so this is me. I am moving this the smallest amount I can. There's my like slow walk. The creep walk. That's kind of hard to do. I do have to focus quite a bit to get to that level. This is kind of hard to do. Like the range between these is very small. From walking to creeping to normal walk. If I'm just moving this, it kind of feels like it's all or nothing. Like I can dial it. It's probably something you just get used to. But like if I want to get on here and walk around and do this, that's fine. I also wonder how comparable this is to like if you load up Mario 64 on your Switch. Does it feel exactly like this? Is this just you're using a modern stick and the sensitivity to these sticks is just different than they used to be, and their dead zone or their ramp or whatever it would be feels different. Okay, I'm plugging in the N64 official controller now. Like this, when I am doing this just normal walk, there's like, it feels like there's like a, I don't know, 10 millimeters to the edge between walk and run. Like run feels like I am pressed up against the plastic. Walk feels like I'm just pointing in that direction. I'm just pointing that way. He's walking steadily. The second I push it into the plastic edge, running. And if I go back to the 8-bit dough one, I'm running before I ever touch the plastic. I'm running at like, kind of like a 45-degree angle, but it feels like I can push the control stick past 45 to like 60 degrees or something like that. And in that whole range, I'm running here. I'm not touching the edge. I'm touching the edge now. Like there's no it feels like there's a wide, high-speed area there. I'm probably making too big of a deal out of it. I wonder who would it affect besides people who are really used to this controller. For anyone else, is it going to feel normal and they're just going to adjust to like, oh, you know, I hold it a little bit and that's it. It may just be for the diehards. I don't know. I want to be able to hand this controller through the screen and have y'all try it. Because I may be getting too in the weeds with this. Let's see. Okay, random access. I felt the sensitivity of the Switch Pro controller wasn't quite right with Mario 64 either. Yeah. Just based on that, like, this feels like this is just a modern controller problem. I mean, even, like, the N64 stick also has such, like, a low... Where it attaches to the controller is so low, and it's such a tall stick that I wonder if that also changes how things feel. I'd also be interested to see, like, if you did a stick calibration, I don't know what... Does the N64 stick technically have more range? Or is it shorter? Like, I don't know any of the specifics on how that works, but... And you know what? This feels fine. Like, it's only when I'm comparing them, especially in this game. F-Zero, I would say, was more immediate of like, oh, it is easier to steer here. Like a racing game where you're just doing left and right. But with this 360 movement, maybe in the later levels where you're doing like the scaffolding walking and everything and like having to mess with the camera as well. But I don't know how much this would come up. Just picking up the controller, it feels like a nice controller. I feel like it's just this super minute stuff that might bother people. The difference between a real analog stick versus digital. Oh yeah, I guess that is what they're doing. That the N64 has like a weird, isn't it? It's like almost like a camera looking at a piece of plastic with slots in it moving. I had to take one apart to clean one recently. I did not know that's what the mechanism looked like at all. Oh, this is one of the weird things I always wonder about on the anti-aliasing is like these signposts, they have these really thin like legs that are almost partly see-through. Like, I don't know if that's just some of the blending in here. The second I disable anti-aliasing, they like thicken up. Like everything gets a really hard outline. That it's almost like the anti-aliasing is doing more than taking away an edge in here. I guess it would be the low resolution, right? That would be almost like it's half a pixel shared, and so it's doing the anti-aliasing on that and slimming it down even more. I guess that would be it. It just comes off so weird on these low resolutions to me when I turn the anti-aliasing off. Okay. Well, we are coming up on 3 hours that I've been streaming. It's not felt like that. This has been very fun. I'm excited to play more of this. I would really love to do a review that will probably not be nearly as in-depth as literally any other video out there, but I'd like to like actually finish a game on this and see how it compares and see like, do I have frustrations? Do I have to switch the N64 stick? Does this feel fun? Like I'd love to actually compare that stuff. And I've got a lot more games. I guess also if anybody wants to see different games played on this, if anybody has anything that they'd like to see played that I didn't show, let me know. I guess leave it in the comments when this video goes like up on the archive and everything. And let me know if there's enough people that want to see more games played on it. I can certainly do that. I don't know how good this gameplay footage is. Me badly playing Mario. Is that something you want to see, or other games, or have me test? I could do more comparisons of like the performance modes on and off, but I feel like a little bit those are probably better shown in a side-by-side video that's like pre-recorded. But yeah, let me know. Leave it in the comments if you would like to see me play some more of this live, if that would be helpful for anyone's purchasing decisions or just interest. And then if you think, oh, I just want to see a big old video of comparisons of the max versus non-maxed performance modes, I could do that too. I'd be interested in just playing more games in here, and I think the comparison would be cool. So maybe that'd be something that would be cool for y'all too. But yeah, thanks for everybody who joined in the chat and gave suggestions and explained a lot more about Analog's history than I realized, and a bunch of these games and features I didn't know. That's been really cool. And then yeah, hopefully somewhat soon in the future, I'm not committing to any dates, I will have like an actual I have a new short that I'm working on. I have a longer video that I'm working on as well, and I've just been extremely slow to edit and get the scripts done. But the scripts are done, the voice is recorded, the gameplay is recorded. I just need to edit at this point, and I just haven't had a ton of time. So please look forward to that in the future. And yeah, I guess I'll see y'all next time. And I see this request for Shadow Man, but I definitely don't have that anywhere on here. I don't think I have that. I don't think I can switch to that. Let me double check, because now you've got me thinking before I go. I don't want to leave this to like when's the next time I do a live stream and you're waiting on Shadow Man. Let's see if it's in the summer cart just to check. Good stream. Thanks for testing things. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for hopping in. Shadow. No, I have Shadowgate. I'll put Shadow Man on the list. Next time I stream this out, we can look at some Shadow Man stuff and see what that does. But yeah, thanks for everybody who joined the stream, gave suggestions, and I will see y'all next time. Leave stuff in the chat if you'd like to see me do more videos, or would like to just see comparison, or whatever else. More live stream, more games, all that. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in.